Hello, everyone. I'm Sean.
This is Hoult.
And we are the Courageour Frights back once again for another movie review.
Yes.
This time we're talking about Renfield.
Yes, Renfield.
So this, of course, is a horror comedy. It's almost more like a cop comedy.
Yeah, buddy cop comedy.
Buddy cop comedy. With Nicolas Hoult as Renfield.
Yes.
Nicolas Cage as Dracula.
Which you play very well in this.
Yeah, which is probably the driving force anybody has to seeing this film.
I agree with that.
That's the reason why we went to see it.
Yeah.
And also stars Awkwafina, the ever-talented Awkwafina.
Yes.
No relation to the bottled water.
Yes, actually, that reminds me. I have Awkwafina in my trunk of my car.
Oh, yeah, you did get that. In honor of the film,
yes,
we bought a case of Awkwafina.
Yes.
So, anyway, let's just start off by saying that I enjoyed the beginning of this movie.
Yes, that was the highlight.
Yeah, the first two minutes. So, the very beginning of the movie, they kind of recreate the 1931 Dracula film.
Yes.
And Nicolas Cage and Nicolas Hoult both, all the Nicolases,
yes,
looked fantastic in a 30s style film.
Yeah, it looked almost like a scene-for-scene remake.
Yeah.
And even Nick Cage looked like Bela Lugosi.
Yeah,
which
he
was
looks
really strange.
Yeah, Nick Cage looks a lot like Bela Lugosi in there, and Nicolas Hoult looked like Dwight Fry.
Yeah, it was like creepy how
close they looked, and he even does the like laugh that Dwight Fry does. He does it a couple times in this movie, and then they just forget about it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's not part of the plot anymore.
Yeah, it's like, let's just not reference anything. So this movie does have a ton of references, but they're like buried in the film.
Yeah, they're very subtle references, a lot of them are.
There's lots of references to the 1931 film.
Yeah.
The director has gone on record in saying he calls this a official sequel to the 1931 film, but it's like he should have leaned into that more if you thought this was a sequel.
That was a sequel to that?
He felt it was a sequel.
I guess the original movie was a comedy, a buddy cop comedy.
Yes. The original film is well known for its buddy cop elements.
Yeah.
Yes. And its cocaine subplot.
Yes, exactly.
That was a big part of it, although some stories about Bela Lugosi suggest that may have been part of the plot. Yeah, they get into that. They do a couple Nosferatu references in here. Mm-hmm. There's only one that I picked up on, though, but there's a part where some guy at the self-help meeting talks about something about being able to control rats with your mind.
Yeah.
That's definitely a Nosferatu reference, because Bela Lugosi doesn't do that.
No, Bela Lugosi is like a very sophisticated vampire, I guess you could say.
I guess.
Compared to like Nosferatu, which is like a monster.
So, yeah, he's got pointy bad ears.
Yeah, pointy bad ears.
And long fingers.
Yeah.
And much better effects.
Yeah.
Even though the movie came out 9 years earlier.
Yeah.
It had a lower budget.
Yeah.
Which I always thought, in my own headcanon, they just actually got a vampire and filmed that movie with them. But because 1922 should not have special effects that good.
Yes.
Which there actually is a movie about that, but that's totally unrelated to this. It's probably a much better film. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it yet. Mm-hmm. So this movie gets bogged down. Renfield. Talking about Renfield again.
Yes.
This movie, I feel like, is very kind of mid. Like, it's okay.
It's all right. It's not gonna be blowing your socks off here.
No. It might rip your arms off and cause gelatinous orange blood to spray everywhere.
That is one thing that in this movie is the blood effects are not using any practical. It's all CGI.
And it's weird.
And it looks bad. Like,
it's orange and chunky.
And it's shooting out everywhere, and it's just like, obviously, because there's no blood going out. Like, it's shooting out of people's arms. It's hitting people in the face, but then the next scene, they don't have any blood on them.
No.
It's like, okay.
He also impales a guy by throwing a severed arm at him.
Yes.
Somehow.
Severed CGI arm at him.
And he kicks a table leg into somebody and also impales them.
Yes.
It's like, what?
Because I think there was only was there really one practical effect, really? Because the one part in the beginning, when he's fighting Van Helsing and then the priest.
Oh yeah.
Was that like that? I think that was practical.
Yeah, probably. Like when he exploded.
Yeah, when
the
he
priest.
explodes.
Yeah, that's in the trailer.
Yeah, it's like in the trailer. So
yeah, there's a reference there. The priest is played by the actor who played Charlie Brewster in Fright Night. His name's William Ragsdale.
Yeah.
So in the 80s, the original Fright Night movie in the 80s, that was like the main character in that movie.
Yeah.
So there's a Fright Night reference, there's Nosferatu reference, there's tons of references to the 1931 film.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple references here and there to other things.
Yeah, because they had like a Dracula's Rockstar Dracula or whatever that was.
Rockstar Dracula, yeah, they did have that.
Because there's like a little bit of, like at the very end.
Yeah, the very end. So, yeah, but a big chunk of this movie, despite being called Renfield and following Dracula, it doesn't spend that much time on Dracula.
Yeah. Which
is easily the selling point of the film. I think almost anybody who goes to see this movie is seeing it on the premise of Nicolas Cage as Dracula.
Yeah, I imagine most people watching this because either they're Nick Cage fans, or they were interested with the fact that Nick Cage is playing Dracula.
Right. I think that would be the vast majority of reasons why people saw this, and he's not really do much. Like, he doesn't do a whole lot in this film.
He's kind of like the first part scenes. He's like literally like a decayed corpse.
Yeah.
Just like kind of getting stronger, but he does play it really well though.
Yeah, he played it well, and Nicholas Hoult I thought was fine.
Yeah, Nicholas Hoult was good.
And like I don't actually hate anybody in this movie. Yeah. Like even Awkwafina was fine. Like and she kind of just plays herself and everything.
Yeah, she plays like in the movie she's playing as like a cop that's like literally like the only non-corrupt cop in like New Orleans. I guess.
And she's a traffic cop.
And she wants to do more because like the story's premise is like the mafia or something. I don't know if it's the mafia or whoever it's crime family that's over there.
Yeah, it was weird. It was almost like John Wick.
Yeah,
they're talking about the 5 families. It's like, what the hell is that?
What are you talking about?
Is it the high table? Like,
And she's like, her dad must have died from, like, the only other non-corrupt cop in the force.
Yeah, and
died.
I think she's also a reference because in Dracula, there's a Texan named Quincy Morris, and this character's Rebecca Quincy.
Yeah.
So I think
that must be a reference.
And her father, they showed his name on the picture on the wall, and it was like something like Morris Quincy.
My vision got blurry that time. I couldn't see what it was. All I saw was Quincy at the very end.
Yes, it's Quincy. So, yeah, like you could probably guess, this isn't a great film.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, he's eating bugs to get powerful.
Okay,
I don't know if that's a I think that might be kind of a reference because in the like original Dracula book, where he's like not really eating bugs, but he's kind of like looking at spiders and stuff.
Well, Renfield eats bugs.
Oh, does he eat bugs?
Yeah, he eats bugs, but like it doesn't give him superpowers though. It just like that's what he eats.
Yeah,
like it's just sustenance.
Damn.
Like it doesn't give him powers. He just has to eat things because he's like half vampire.
Yeah, because it's like. They call him the familiar to Dracula.
Yeah, because Dracula like made him like a part vampire.
Yeah.
It's like a daywalker or something. Like he's not.
He's like his servant.
Yeah, he's not fully human, but he's not fully vampire.
Which they said familiar. Is that the actual term, or is that something they just made up for this movie? I don't really know.
A familiar usually is like an animal.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, okay.
I don't know why they say that, but. Yeah, I'm not sure. They give you the definition of familiar.
Like at the very beginning, and it's like, okay.
It's like, all right.
Right after the best part of the movie.
Yeah, right after the movie goes downhill about 2 minutes into the beginning.
Yeah.
The action's ridiculously over the top.
Yeah, which you kind of could see in the trailer if you see, like, the Red Band trailer.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of the major action scenes were in the Red Band. I'm pretty sure they were.
Yeah,
because it had the, him cutting off the arms.
The only thing that it didn't show in the Red Band trailer was that Dracula turns a bunch of the mafia guys into like Renfield characters. And they all have, and the dude snorts a centipede.
Yeah, he's like, for some weird reason, he just snorts a centipede and is like crawling up his arms.
Yeah, was that Ben Schwartz or something? Yeah. That actor. And the actor that played the matriarch of the crime family. I know I've seen her in a bunch of stuff. I can't recall her name. She's like an Iranian actress, but for some reason they always have her playing like Romani characters or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She was in Grimm. and she was like Frau Pechta or something in Grimm, and then she was in like a bunch of other stuff. But that's a face I recognized. And then obviously Nick Cage. Like, I knew all the main people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's this whole subplot of like a crime family and their drug dealings or something.
Yeah, because he's like, since he doesn't want the self-help class, it's kind of the way they get intertwined is because the one person that went to the self-help class is like, my boyfriend or something is stealing drugs or something. I don't know. I don't remember what they were talking about, but that's what it was like. It's something about drugs, and then he went over there and he fought Dr. Salvatore from RE4.
Yes.
Remake in there. He like stabbed him in the neck with a pen, and he was still.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
But he had a mask on.
Yeah, that was weird. It was supposed to be an assassin, but he's like Leatherface for some reason.
No, it was like, what the heck's going on?
It's like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah. And you never see him again because he gets his head cut off.
And then, and then other things we learned from this film is that Doug is trash.
Yeah, Doug is trash.
He brings in this corpse for Dracula, and Dracula's like, what is this? Yeah. And he's like, well, that's Doug. And then he's just like, Doug is trash.
Doug is trash. It's like, and that's what I think from the trailer too, where he's like, I need like nuns.
4 nuns, a bus load of cheerleaders.
But we find out that it's not a sexual thing. It's just purity is what
right.
makes him
he
stronger.
Doesn't care about the gender.
Yeah.
And that makes sense though, that like Dracula has to feed on the pure and innocent.
Yeah, that way he gets a more stronger, quicker, I guess.
Right, and it avoids stupid nonsense, like having a character become an anti-hero.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine how dumb this would be if they made Renfield an anti-hero.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, oh, wait.
Renfield's just like a superhero.
Imagine how stupid this movie would be if Renfield just ate bugs and had superpowers, like a Marvel movie.
I mean, he jumps on this guy like Mario.
They should have literally had the Mario bounce effect in there.
He like threw an arm at another guy and then just jumped on him.
He impaled a dude to the door with a severed arm.
Yeah, then he jumped on some other guy like Mario.
He's like leapfrogging around, like
and then
he's
it's just like CGI blood goes everywhere and it just looks horrible.
He moves like, what was that, Toad in X-Men or whatever that guy is.
I mean, what was the budget for this movie?
I mean, Nicolas Hoult, $65 million.
Oh boy.
Why?
That CGI blood must have been expensive.
That doesn't come cheap.
Which is really weird because if you look at like Nick Cage's makeup and stuff, that was really good.
Yeah.
But then you look at the CGI and it looked really bad.
Right. And $65 million is like a lot of money for this.
For this,
yeah.
It should have been like a $30 million movie.
Yeah. At most.
Because it must have been the blood. It must have been that CGI scenes because
it wasn't Awkwafina's paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. Or I don't know how much Nick Cage took, but maybe it was Nick Cage's pay. I don't really know.
I don't think Nick Cage demands that much money though, because he's been doing a lot of like low budget movies lately.
Yeah, that's true.
Like how much was Willy's Wonderland?
Oh yeah,
that didn't cost $65 million.
The whole movie.
I guarantee that movie didn't cost $65 million.
Mandy, which that's like just
none of his recently. What has he done? Mandy. He did
Color Out of
Space.
That was like another like indie.
That's
movie.
probably like $5 million budget.
Yeah.
Like none of that stuff is like this is probably the most expensive movie Nick Cage has done in recent years.
Yeah.
And
man,
they just totally dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, $65 million for this.
So
that's insane.
Yeah. So anyway, I wouldn't even really recommend going to see this unless you really want to see it.
I mean, if it was like a rating, I'd probably give this more like a 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think a 4.
Like,
4 is pretty average.
Because it's not bad. Nick Cage's performance is good.
It's not. No, it's not horrible.
Really
it's not the worst movie ever. Awkwafina is actually kind of funny, but I don't mind her.
Yeah.
So like, she acted like the same character all the time though. It's the same character she was in Shang-Chi. She just swears a lot more because it's not a Disney movie.
Oh, was she? I've never seen Shang-Chi.
She's in Shang-Chi.
Okay.
And she basically acts the same.
Oh, it's the same character.
She also kills like 30 people in this movie herself.
Yeah, I know.
So no wonder
like killing like the SWAT team.
So no wonder she doesn't have that much of a problem with Renfield.
Yeah.
Like she thinks he's a murderer. She's like annoyed with him mildly annoyed with him that he murdered a bunch of people, and then she's over it in like 10 minutes because she just killed 30 people in the previous scene.
Actually, another thing that didn't make any sense, since they killed like Dracula, wouldn't Renfield just like shrivel up into a husk and just die?
At the very least, it should break his curse.
Yeah, because he's like 100 years old, or however old he is in this movie.
Yeah, more than 100.
Yeah, because he like literally like
they also did that wrong too. There's a scene where they say he's got to be like 70 or 80 years old.
Yeah, he's like way old.
He's got to be way older than that because like the original movie was released in 1931.
Yeah,
which is 90 years ago.
And he's like, that's like older than that.
But the book is from 1896.
Yeah.
So like Renfield's probably like 150 years old. But yeah, anyway.
Because if he kills Dracula, I don't know if he's probably not dead because he even says he's like.
Well, they say they don't even know if he's dead.
Yeah, he's not. Like they did a weird thing at the end because at the end they basically beat him up, like dismember him into really small pieces.
Well, first Awkwafina makes a protection circle out of cocaine. With cocaine. Because she learned about it on Wiccan Tumblr.
So there's this protection circles.
Wiccan Tumblr. You can learn how to make a protection circle
with cocaine.
With cocaine, because they said it has to be a powder. It's like it has to be salt.
Yeah, it has to be salt. That's like, what it normally is.
Not just any old powder.
Yeah. Cocaine is salt.
Cocaine.
Yeah, this
is cocaine vampire.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Cocaine Bear.
I would put this on the same level as Cocaine Bear, to be
probably,
honest.
Yeah.
Like, I think we gave Cocaine Bear a little bit higher score, but actually thinking about it, I think Cocaine Bear is probably like a 4.
Yeah, probably like the same scores.
I would say they're about the same.
Yeah.
I don't hate either movie. I don't recommend you rush out and watch them, though.
I'd probably give it maybe like when it comes out on like Blu-ray or something, or maybe like a rental or something.
Yeah, it's like,
but maybe not a full price $20 rental, but like
no, it's a
like
rental. It's a rental, or if you see it at the store and it's like marked down. Yeah. If it's in the $5 bin at Walmart.
Yeah, or like next to the Mill Creek movies at Walmart. Then maybe.
the weekly Mill Creek.
Yeah.
Like.
We're like
comments.
We need to be sponsored by them at this point.
I'm not sure they want our sponsorship.
Yeah. Mill Creek, we're here. We love all your movies, even though they're at the very bottom of the bottom.
Even though we don't actually know what a Mill Creek movie is, and we always confuse them with Asylum films.
Yeah. With like 9-headed shark or whatever.
Yeah, that's Asylum.
Okay. Or I don't know.
But anyway. Yeah, I would say this movie's like a 4.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So don't rush out to see this movie.
Yeah,
you can slowly walk to see it.
At this time, Super Mario Brother movie's still out. We haven't seen it, but you might want to watch that instead.
Yeah, because we don't actually watch good movies. I think Suzume is out too.
Yeah, Suzume is out.
And was that The Pope's Exorcist or something?
With that looks like another vampire movie, but like a better version.
Well, it's like a demon possession movie with Russell Crowe.
It is Sony, so you never know what you're gonna get with that.
I heard that one was all right.
Yeah,
but it's probably better than this. And then next week, I think Evil Dead Rise comes out, so everyone's gonna forget this movie even happened.
Yeah, because this movie. From the way the trends have been lately, it's like you had Shazam 2, which went right to like Blu-ray or whatever that's stupid.
That went straight to DVD.
Yeah, it went straight to like Disney. That got like Disney Plus.
Yeah, it got maxed.
Yeah, it got maxed. What was the other movie? There was another movie that came out that like went right to it after like a week. I think we watched it.
Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, that fell on its face too.
Dungeons and Dragons did horrible. What actually you probably see that because that was actually not that bad.
That was better than this.
Yeah. What was there was another movie that did bad, but it was like
we probably saw it.
Yeah, I know we saw it.
If it's a crap movie, we've seen it.
I can't remember, but it was another movie that went right to like Blu-ray or whatever, like a streaming service after like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, I predict this will be out of the theater in like by the end of the month.
It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna last because I don't even think this made like $7 million or something.
Yeah, something like
$65 million budget.
Yeah, it's not gonna, unless somehow it does really well internationally.
Yeah,
but I don't think it will.
Blu-ray sales or whatever.
Maybe it might. it might be able to squeeze the budget back
Yeah.
somehow and break even, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's going to do it for our review of Renfield.
Yes.
So if you like this video, hit that like button. Consider subscribing for more content like this in the future. And to quote the great Awkwafina, au revoir, bitches.
Yes.
See ya.
See ya.